Yo, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Catching Cars. We are currently in a 2026 Cupra Terramar Drive Edition. Technically, this is the 2026 Cupra Terramar VZ or VZ 2-liter TSI 4-drive Drive Edition. I think that was all. That's way too complicated. So we have the 2-liter TSI engine without any hybrid assist. I also love that the start button and the drive modes are here on the steering wheel. But this is definitely the version of the Cupra Terramar that I would get if I was looking for one. Although its hybrid brother, the VZ or VZ hybrid, or e-hybrid, I believe, puts out 272 PS on paper, while this one only puts out 265. But in the real world, this one accelerates significantly faster, and I think this one is probably more powerful feeling than that hybrid version. I would definitely go for this Cupra Terramar 2-liter TSI. We're just going to go ahead and do a cheeky little launch control here. I don't know where I got that cheeky from right now, but let's go ahead and start off the video with a good one. So let's see. So this car does feel, or SUV feels powerful enough with its 265 metric horsepower. I don't understand why we don't get that full 320 or 333 PS that we get from the Golf R and other Volkswagen Group products. I just don't understand why this one is detuned. It's using basically all of the same technology. It has all-wheel drive, although it is slightly limited in its all-wheel drive capabilities as well. We don't have drift mode or anything like that. Maybe they were just targeting this at a different type of buyer, possibly. I don't think many family mothers or fathers are going to be drifting around in their Cupra Terramar or using drift mode. But then again, the Cupra Leon ST wagon has it, and it's probably targeted at the same type of people. So I don't necessarily understand that. But I wasn't lacking power here. However, what was not super great was this vehicle's fuel economy. So you can see there, I'm not sure if you can see it, but 10.9 liters per 100 kilometers. That's probably a realistic average that you're going to be getting with this Cupra Terramar 2-liter TSI. I was able to get this below 7 liters per 100 kilometers, and I was very impressed with that. But that was only on a very long stretch of Autobahn where I was going very, very slowly. Fuel economy was not great, but what is great is the interior quality, and I think the interior quality is slightly better than its Volkswagen Tiguan sibling or cousin. Of course, this is fully equipped Drive Edition, you know, press vehicle, but you have some nice soft touch materials spread throughout. This is soft touch, this is soft touch, this is soft touch. The armrest is, you know, fake leatherette stuff or whatever. Seats are very nice and supportive while still being comfortable. Soft touch here, and even down here, this is hard plastic now down here, of course, but it's not super cheap hard plastic. It still feels decent. Of course, it doesn't feel super high quality, but it is better than, if you've ever sat in a Dacia, if you're in Europe, you know what super cheap plastic is. Or maybe for my American and Japanese viewers, a Nissan Versa, for instance, is also super cheap on the interior. Some of the plastics haven't been in the all-new Versa yet, but yeah, so this is decent, but the interior quality overall is probably better than its Volkswagen cousin. Also, this upgraded Sennheiser sound system is phenomenal. I do understand that the mids and highs could probably be of higher quality, but I am a bass head. I love having super rich bass, and this Sennheiser definitely provides. If you set it up properly, this is one of the few sound systems where I don't have the bass set up to max, because that would just be overkill. So if you set it up properly, you can get some decent sound out of this vehicle. Mids and highs are not the best, but overall it is a very, very good sound system, especially for this type of vehicle. And also I figure, or I find that the infotainment system here, for being a touch-based infotainment system, is very decent. Now, of course, I would prefer having a rotary dial controller here, like MMI, iDrive, command system, stuff like that. But for a touch-based system, this is very, very good, and even much better than what some of the premium brands are doing currently. Also, I miss analog gauges, but in this Cupra Terramar, I don't miss them as much. This, if you're gonna do digital gauges, what is everybody else doing? This is what you should be doing. You have, so I basically had it set up like this. I don't know if you guys can see that well. I know you're not supposed to be doing this while driving, but maybe you guys can see it slightly better now. I have it set up like this, where I have my speed and RPMs in the middle, my fuel economy on the left, just so you guys can see that. And then normally I'd have my route guidance or my music there on the right. And you have basically 3 configurable fields. You could put anything here: compass, mobile phone, Bluetooth, G meter, stuff like that. Here in the middle, you can also have, I think, lap timer, stuff like that. And on the left, you can have all kinds of other different information. But that's not even it. You can also go to this view mode here and change it up completely. Have a bigger map. And so overall, I don't understand what anybody else is doing. Audi used to have a similar system, but they've gotten rid of that kind of sort of, and I just don't know what everybody else is doing. If you're gonna give us a digital cluster, give us this. This is almost perfect. Not perfect. Analog would be better with just a little screen in the middle, but this is near perfect. And that is my overall impression that I have of this Cupra Terramar. It is a very well-rounded package. If you can get over the fact that for some reason you have a detuned version of the Golf R engine instead of having the full 320 or 333 PS, and you can also get over the not so great fuel economy, this is a very, very good vehicle, especially for families in Europe. And I wish Cupra would offer this in other markets like the US as well. I think this would do very, very well there. But that said, I do want to touch on design real quick. I think this is a very aesthetically pleasing vehicle. Also, when I got out this vehicle, or whenever I get out and look at that 3/4 panel back there, it does give me some Maserati Grecale vibes, I believe. I'm not sure if you guys can see that as well, but if you do, you probably can't unsee it now. And I think that just adds to the premium feel. And this also being the Tribe Edition, come on, the Cupra logo has always been the best logo in the industry. It looks like something off of a superhero or a transformer. Now we don't have the copper logos with this Tribe Edition. We have the blacked out logos. Some people really like that. I also think that it is a bit more mature looking, but I do also like the regular copper logos that we get with Cupra. So even if you don't get the Tribe Edition, you won't go wrong there. There is one little gripe I do still have with this vehicle. This being part of the Volkswagen group, it always wants to shut off whenever you stop. And I'm not talking about start stop. I'm actually talking about whenever you, like, let's say I was to pull over here and I have to get something out of the trunk or boot, depending on where you're from, and I get out the vehicle will shut off, which normally would not be a problem. But I mean, you just turn it back on and everything is fine. But then you have to go back in and deactivate all the stupid, annoying assistance technology. Now, there is a shortcut button here. Unfortunately, you can't push and hold that to deactivate everything, which is probably not Cupra's fault. Like I said, I think that is a regulatory thing. I've said that in a couple of other videos as well, but I hope we can really get the hang of that. Pushing and holding this button to deactivate all the stupid nannies would be great. But you can go in here, deactivate some of the stuff like lane assist and speed warning. I'm also very happy they kept the limiter around, because I've seen a lot of modern cars getting rid of the speed limiter that just holds the speed. You can push the gas pretty much as hard as you want, and it just keeps you at the speed or the desired speed that you set. A lot of cars nowadays only have the adaptive cruise control or travel assist, which is very, very annoying, because in crowded areas, it just doesn't work. I want my limiter, right? So they kept that, that's great. But like I said, when the vehicle shuts off, you have to go back in and deactivate all the annoying nannies if you don't like them. So that's annoying, because this car always shuts off. No matter what you do, you get out, you grab your bag, you grab a drink, you get gas. Well, then normally you turn off the car anyway, most people. But that's just a little gripe I have there. But other than that, this is a very, very recommendable vehicle. Huge thanks to Cupra Deutschland, Cupra Germany for this vehicle. I will be getting the Cupra Leon ST with the full 333 PS Golf R engine basically here shortly. So I hope to catch you guys in that next video. Make sure you guys subscribe. In the meantime, you can watch this video, and I'll catch you guys later.